Hello, my name is Alan Green. I'm the Fire and Life Safety Educator for the Chattanooga Fire Department. Today I have the honor and the pleasure to be here at the Bessie Cultural Center reading a book that I published for our kids in our community. The title is Mom, Dad, What Should I Do? And it's about fire and life safety education in the home setting. My inspiration for writing this book, about 3 years ago, I got in this position as the Fire and Life Safety Educator. So I started the first ever Chattanooga Fire Department Read to Succeed literacy program. And what that was, it had 3 different parts to it. We would go into a school and teach fire and life safety education, right? Also, we would teach the kids new vocabulary terms. And then we would develop positive relationships with the kids while we were teaching and reading to them. So I ordered all fire related books, and I would go in once a month, read through all the classes, K through 5th, and they will learn about fire safety and then learn about what we do in the job, learn new terminology, and then in that time, we would build relationships with them. So I noticed that a bunch of the books that I was reading didn't really capture all of the audience that I was reading to. There was a lack of representation, so I said, hey, I want to write my own book since I'm the one that's developing the message in any way. I'm the one implementing the program. So I said, it'll probably be a better fit for certain schools when I go in and I'm reading books that have characters that look like them in the book. And they will be more susceptible to paying attention to the educational message and the willingness to build a positive relationship with the firefighters that was in front of them. So that was pretty much in essence the inspiration for me writing the book. But the bottom line is this: I'm a huge proponent of education is the foundation of prevention. So no matter if you don't know me, what I'm about, who I am, what I do, I do believe, just looking at some of the reviews from people that have bought the book from all over who I've never met, they're saying that it's a great book for education for little kids especially, because that's going to be the foundational piece with learning. So the overall goal is to, get that education on the front end, early childhood education. So it's a great read for those kindergartens, 1st and 2nd grade, 3rd grade, and that's what I really wanted to see happen, is getting education in the homes about fire and life safety. So the goal with this part is to develop and invoke the families to actually sit down and interact with developing their safety plan. So this is a grid for a map. For the kids and the families can draw every level of their home and the layout of their home, doors, windows, exit paths to safety, marking 2 ways out, marking the smoke alarms. So this right here, pretty much when you get to this page, if you paid attention to the safety tips on the inside of the book while you were reading, then it would know when Jacob Dad pulled out the huge sheet of paper and started drawing out the levels of the home and the map. This is what this is telling you that you should be doing. So I never wanted to be a firefighter. I was in college and I got tired of going to college, and I had my sons while I was in college. So I said, I need a career job right now because they're going to get older. They was babies at the time. And so happened it worked out to where I graduated college the day after I joined the fire academy. So once I started really realizing that, I was going to be called to do a lot of community work in my position in the fire department. I spent 9-10 years out in operations, fighting fire suppression. And then I switched over as a lateral promotion to the position I'm in now as the fire and life safety educator. And pretty much I'm responsible for all fire and life safety education. Elementary school presentations about safety, the Sparky, smoke alarm installation, fire extinguisher training, evacuation drills, anything you can think of that has something to do with fire and life safety education, that's what I'm responsible for. So with that said, I like to think outside the box. I like to be progressive, I like to be preventative as well as proactive. So that prompted me again to write this book, because my mind works in a different area most of the time than most people that do what I do. So I'm a thinker, I'm an educator, I'm a mentor. So I like to find ways to help the community and uplift where I can that's not necessarily the traditional way. Okay, well, if there's a kid out there that would like to be an author, you don't have to wait to be an adult. You don't have to be a firefighter. You don't have to be either one of the two to start writing. You can actually be an author now. If you can read and write, comprehend, you can start writing your book today. And I advise you to do that. Just put your thoughts on paper and start getting to writing. Now, if you want to be a firefighter, that is a valuable option as well. We are now hiring at the age of 18. Hint, hint. So if you are close to 18, I advise you to start looking into the application process. We will walk you through it all the way to graduation.